Here's the solution for day one. Use absolute value notation to write an expression for the graph. Absolute values are used to represent distances between numbers. So we need to think about what distance this graph is representing. Find the midpoint between the two boundary dots. That's located right here at 1.5. The boundary marked at +5 is 3.5 units to the right of 1.5. The boundary marked at -2 is 3.5 units to the left of 1.5. The shaded sections here and here are more than 3.5 units away from 1.5. With that observation, we can create our absolute value expression. Inside the bars, x minus 1.5. You certainly could write 1.5 for that if you like. Then greater than 3.5. Let's discuss the parts of this expression. This says the distance between some number x and 1.5 is greater than 3.5 units. Now question B. Notice that -2 and 5 are still the numbers marked with dots, and that 1.5 is still the center point. The distance from 1.5 over to 5 is the 3.5 units, and likewise moving to the left is 3.5 units. So using absolute value notation, x minus 1.5, and then less than or equal to 3.5 units. Let's discuss this notation. The absolute value bars mean the distance between. Looking in the bars, we have the distance between x and the number 1.5. And this says that that distance must be less than or equal to 3.5 units. We have the or equal to part this time because of the colored in dots.